Right, so we're going live here now. Not that I particularly want to be going live and having these videos, but I suppose I have to share what I think is right and what I think can help to clarify some misinformation or craziness that is going on. Let's see where we're going to start. How would I know? Is there anybody looking on? I'm going to pause. Right, so let me start. I now realize there are some viewers viewing. I didn't realize before, I'm not very familiar with this. So today I want to talk about the madness that's going on. Everybody's locked up in their houses, well not everybody all over the world, but in some parts of the world they are. We are locked up in Trinidad and Tobago and we cannot leave Trinidad and Tobago and nobody can enter Trinidad and Tobago. And it seems like there's no end in sight to what's going on. Even though, you know, all the governments are trying to do their best to contain or control. I think that we're missing the point. One point I want to really identify and put out there right now is that our healthcare system, which I call the SickCare System, has no regard for anyone's immunity. You know, they go along and they treat us as if we have no immune system. Right? I just had a child in. The mother said that, you know, the child was coughing for about a month, dry cough, and it got worse recently, and she went to Mount Hope. And at Mount Hope, last night, they gave the child steroidal injections. She said prior to that she went to a doctor and they gave the child, I don't know the name of the thing, some kind of anti-allergic medicine. I mean, the child has a cold, it's a chronic cold, his chest is congested, the nose is full of yellow mucus, and there's a fever, and it's unimaginable that they gave the child, a 2-year-old child, an injection of steroids last night and sent him home. But he's no better today. And she's freaking out because she read some of my posts about the use of steroids and anti-inflammatories during this COVID infection. So yesterday, well, on Saturday morning, I saw the French Minister of Health identify an issue of the use of ibuprofen as a substance, of an anti-inflammatory drug that has been identified as causing problems, complications with the COVID virus victims, and that it seems like those victims succumbed and there was more mortality rates for people who were on that were ones who were dying. And I said in my last video that I believe that It's not just that, it's all anti-inflammatories, it's even Panadol and so forth, because once you suppress the fever, you're suppressing the immune system. I saw a research paper yesterday from 2009 that identified clearly the facts that all anti-inflammatory drugs, so a big research paper, all anti-inflammatory drugs, and it was published in the British Journal of Medicine, and all anti-inflammatory drugs suppress one's immunity and suppress our ability to make antibodies. So what I'm saying is that we have an immune system, and part of that immune response is to make inflammation. Yesterday I was searching an old homeopathic book to identify some homeopathic remedies. The volume keeps dropping. Right, thanks for that. Probably it's me. Probably I'm not keeping my voice up. I don't know if the connection is bad. I do have some kind of a thing here that I can try. I have a mic, and I'm going to put it on, and maybe you can tell me if it's any better. That would be very helpful if you can tell me if it's any better. And I'm going to put it in now. Right, can you tell me if you're hearing me any better? Are you hearing me? Can somebody let me know if you're hearing me? I just put on a mic. Are you hearing me or not? Okay, well, I just put on a mic, and I was asking if you were hearing me any better, but I didn't see any feedback on that, so I'm not sure if I should have left it on. So I took it back off. So I'll just try to speak a little louder and more into the mic, and maybe that could be helpful, into the phone mic. But I'm not sure if the other mic is working. So yesterday, while I was investigating these homeopathics that can be used for people who succumb to the virus, or to prevent, to use as a prophylactic in preventing, because the Prime Minister of India, okay, thanks. The Prime Minister of India has stated or told his population that they should use the homeopathic arsenicum as a prophylactic. India has a long history of homeopathy, which was brought from the English when they occupied in India. And they have many homeopaths in India. Homeopathy is a very good choice for the poor, because it's a very simple remedy, and it's very cheap compared to herbal medicine. But finding the right remedy for each person, it's quite a challenge, and so consultations can be very long, and you have to really hone in on the specific remedy for that person and change it as things change, obviously, right? So that the Prime Minister of India, a few days ago, at least a few days ago, early this week, he announced that the population should use homeopathic arsenicum at the strength of 30C as a prophylactic. In the town of Kerala in India, when the chickpea was going around, they gave half the population a prophylactic medicine, And of those that took that, only a small percentage got the chickpea. It was about 5%. And of those that didn't use that homeopathic prophylactic medicine, about 75% of that half of the population contracted chickpea, right? So homeopathy as a prophylactic is very good. When using herbal medicine to prepare oneself, as I spoke in my other video, you can look at that video and find it on Natural Balance TT Facebook page. And I spoke about preparing the mucous membranes and washing the nose and preparing and having certain things in place for when you get, because we're all going to get it. And that's one of the points I want to make today. From what we are looking at all over the world in this containment exercise, we might be able to contain it and slow it down and flatten the curve and all those things. But the efforts to do that is causing disruption in life and in how people are living and how people are working and how people are getting money, because there are many people that live week to week. The people that live day to day. And there are many people among us, especially in Trinidad, that live week to week. And if they don't have money to get food, to feed themselves, what do you think they're going to do? Right? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to have to get the food. They're going to have to come to those places, whether it is supermarkets, homes, whatever it is, and take it from those that have. Apparently the biggest selling thing and the longest lines in California at the moment are at gun stores, ammunition stores. People are lining up to buy guns to, one, protect themselves, and as somebody told me today, the people with the guns are going to be able to get the food. Because people are going to be able to people have to get food. Does getting the virus give immunity from getting it again? I've read some literature on it, and I don't think that it will give you any immunity from getting it again. But because if you get the influenza, one of the other influenza viruses, which there are many, you get it again and you get it again and you get it again. The thing is that you've built an immunity and your body has made antibodies for that particular virus and then the next virus and so forth. So if you get the same exact virus again, your body is prepped because you have some of the antibodies already made. So your body just has to make it. But when you contract and get a new virus, you get infected with a new virus for the first time, your body has to, one, identify the virus and then start to make, for the first time, antibodies against that virus or bacteria or fungi. So it is a little longer, the process is a little longer and than if your body was prepped and you had that infection before. But one of the things we are seeing is that this infection, in most cases, is mild, right? It's like getting a flu or cold and dealing with it and getting over it. But in some cases, in many cases, not most cases, some people are getting complications. And as I said earlier, the French government seems to be the first to have identified an issue that was being caused by the anti-inflammatories, and in particular they mentioned ibuprofen, which is Advil and so forth. And I am saying that it has to do with all anti-inflammatories. And yesterday I stumbled upon something in a homeopathic book that showed me mention of the use of aspirin in the Spanish flu of 1918, which was the culprit in causing the complications of that particular flu infection, pandemic, and so forth. So the people that used the aspirin were the ones that had problems. In those days, in 1918, basically the only anti-inflammatory pharmaceutical that was available was Bayer's aspirin. In fact, that was the first patented medicine of all time. First patented medicine ever was aspirin. So aspirin as well is a problem. Now, if we look at the people who are succumbing, who are the real victims of this infection, which are the elderly and the sick elderly. And it is the elderly that are on anti-inflammatories. They're on anti-inflammatories for their aches and pains, right? They're on steroids, they are on Advil and ibuprofen and Panadol. People living on this daily. I can't remember the last time I had one of them things. Right? Thank God I don't need them things, right? So, when you put two and two together, you can understand the problem is the elderly that are using the drugs, right? Yesterday again, somebody sent to me an article which identified a certain blood pressure drug, or a group of blood pressure drugs, which are the ACE inhibitors, right? And that, they showed all the pathways, the chemical pathways and so forth. And that is also implicated, right, in promoting this viral attack. So making the virus easier to propagate itself within the human body when we have these ACE inhibitor drugs. So it's all the anti-inflammatories, right? It's the aspirin, it's the ACE inhibitors, and we're going to find out there's other drugs too. So basically, what we are seeing here is a revelation, right, that we were supposed to realize from before, that we have a problem with pharmaceutical drugs, and people don't seem to get it, right? People don't seem to get it, that pharmaceutical drugs is a huge, huge, huge problem, right? It's a huge industry, and guess who they're in bed with? They're in bed with governments. And the next thing is, they're going to bring out a vaccine. Because Trump has opened the gateways, removed all the obstacles, all the things that they're supposed to, all the protocols that they're supposed to go through to bring a drug to market. He has removed a lot of them so that they could get a vaccine out quicker than ever. And then the pharmaceutical companies sell these vaccines to the government to vaccinate everyone. So they're going to come in mandatory. That's the next stage. If you think this is bad, right, what's happening here now, the next step is mandatory vaccinations, because there is no plan. There is no plan. You cannot have a plan when you have a dysfunctional healthcare system, right? Because you're not taking health into consideration. When you're treating the sick and you keep them sick, and you say, take this for the rest of your life because you have high blood pressure and you have to take a high blood pressure tablet for the rest of your life. You have diabetes and you'll have it for the rest of your life. And here's the drug, and take the drug for the rest of your life. And you have arthritis, and take these drugs for the rest of your life. Right? That is not health care, that is sick care. right? And we've reached a point now that it is collapsing in front of us. And we the people must, somehow, we the people must stand up for ourselves, because they're going to come. I mean, when you vaccinate somebody, you make them weaker, you don't make them stronger. Let me tell you, okay? I have 3 children. One is 14, one is 38, and one is 16. They really have no vaccinations, right? The first 2 had, I think, the first shots, and that was it, right? But they're healthy, they don't get sick, like how I used to get sick. I get sick out of bed for 2 weeks. Every week I get in sick, right? So vaccinations don't make us healthy, they actually make us weaker. They take up a whole area of our immune system, right? So what we have to understand, first and foremost, in this situation, is that one, the general public are not at risk if you are healthy, right? If you want to be unhealthy, if you want to smoke cigarettes and you want to eat fried chicken and pizza and drink soft drinks and live on that, well, you're not going to be very healthy, okay? If you don't know that, well, you know, I'm sorry for you. But we have to understand that we have an immune system. We have to understand that. We have to understand it, right? Governments need to understand it. We need to have a healthcare system that understands that. If we don't understand that, and we don't feed the immune system, right? We don't seek to have our immune system boosted and working well, then they're not going to be boosted and working well. And if we want to treat everybody with pharmaceutical drugs that keep us sick, bypass our immune systems, right? I mean, we're just going to get worse and worse. So we have to realize that somehow, and we have to rise up and say, hey, enough is enough. Now, earlier today I made a post and I said, you know, people need to come off aspirin, and somebody criticized me and said, oh, that's a very irresponsible thing to say, blah, 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 blah. But normally I would delete that post right away. And then if they come again, I block them. But I have no time to argue each point with everybody. I don't have the time. Right? I have other things to do. I have a life, I have a work, I have a job, right? So how can I know the status of my immune system? How can you know? Well, you see how you respond when you get sick. You get sick often. Do you stay sick long? Right? All those things, right? Will tell you. And if you want to look at the other video that I made on Saturday, you can go to the Facebook page and look at it. And it tells you about prepping your immune system and what you can do with the mucous membranes and different things like that, right? Right now, that's what you're going to do, right? Eat healthy, take some sunshine, live properly, do those things. Check out that. Today, right now, I just want to try to finish this. You know, I didn't prepare too much for it to say I have it in line, I think. But I want people to understand. And I want the government, the authorities need to understand, right? Because they are in control of us. And they need to understand. I don't know if we need to make them understand. How we're going to make them understand, I don't know. But they need to understand, or else they'll keep doing the same thing over and over and over, right? Because this thing can't be contained. And as I said, if you keep it as it is, people don't have jobs, people not going to get food. People who live week to week will not have food. If they don't have food, they're going to come into your establishment, they're going to come into your homes to get your food, right? I said earlier, the biggest lines in California is at the ammunition stores. People are buying guns, right? To protect themselves and maybe some to be able to go and control the food, because they say if you have the guns, you can control the food. I don't know. I am not promoting guns or anything like that. What I'm saying is that we need to understand that we have an immune system, and the healthcare system or the sick care system that we have doesn't account for it, right? Imagine giving a child steroids for a cold in Mount Hope today, a 2-year-old last night, a 2-year-old, you come there, your chest is congested, your nose is congested, and they give them a steroid injection and send them home in the height of a COVID epidemic, when these people are supposed to know that these steroids and anti-inflammatory drugs suppress your immune system. What stupidness is this? I don't understand. So, I see this as a revelation where from all this, we are going to realize, one, that the healthcare systems around the world, not only in Trinidad, are sick care systems. They are run by governments who are in bed with pharmaceutical companies. I'm not the first person to say that. You can go on the internet and read all about it. We know it, right? The WHO is controlled by the pharmaceutical companies. The governments are controlled by the pharmaceutical companies and the WHO, right? But the actions that are being taken are not helping right now. The action that we have to take is, one, realize it's the elderly at risk. You want to prolong their lives? Isolate them. Make every effort to keep them away from persons who might be infected. Right? We cannot isolate everybody and keep everybody home from work. For how long? A week? Yeah, you can do it for a week. A month? Well, they said the airlines going to go, many industries going to go, oil companies going to close, some have left leaving Trinidad, right? They say what? August now? They're talking about August. By August we might be kind of now coming over the hill. What? We can't sustain this, guys. We're going to die from criminal activity before we die from the COVID virus, right? People who are healthy and have healthy immune systems have nothing to worry about, right? The vulnerable are people, not just the elderly, people who use anti-inflammatory drugs, right? There are many people who are using aspirin. They're using aspirin daily as a blood thinner, right? The problem with those people who are using aspirin as a blood thinner is not that their blood too thick, you know. It's because they have blockages in their arteries, right? The way to solve blockages in your arteries is not to thin your blood, but to remove the blockages, right? I don't know. That SickCare system, I don't know how it operates, right? They give people blood thinners so that the blood could get thin and pass through the little space left between the plaque and the artery wall. The problem is not the blood, the problem is the blockages. There are many natural things that can be used to keep the blood viscosity low. Ginger. Ginger is an anti-thrombotic, prevents the clotting of blood, right? It's much better than aspirin. It's not going to do those things that aspirin does, right? I mentioned earlier, and I mentioned on my site today, right, that I found the evidence of aspirin as being the culprit in the Spanish flu of 1918. You can look it up, right? Aspirin is the thing that caused the deaths, the complications, and the increase in morbidity was with the people who used aspirin. Aspirin was the only painkiller and anti-inflammatory at the time. And aspirin was the cause of the complications. Right? I'm not making it up. You can look it up. And it's very similar to the call now from the French that ibuprofen, and now people are saying it is others. I said so on Saturday already, that all anti-inflammatories need to be checked, to be removed, right? Okay, so what do you do if you have the elderly and they need anti-inflammatories to help them with pain and suffering? Well, one, you have to look at what is the cause of each person's pain, right? Everybody's pain is different. Do they need an anti-inflammatory? Do they need an anti-analgesic? Analgesic will just take away the pain without taking down the inflammation. Is it that they need? Or do they need to fix something? Is it something they need to fix? Do they need to go to a chiropractor? Do they need a massage the knee? Is it gout? Is it osteoarthritis? Do they need chondroitin? Do they need one of the other painkillers? By the way, ginger is a fantastic painkiller as well, right? So it's an antithrombotic and painkiller. You can use turmeric, which is ginger's cousin, right, for its anti-inflammatory properties. And realize something, that if people, and most people are deficient in omega-3, if you are deficient in omega-3, your body, in metabolizing the food and the chemicals now out so that you can urinate out the waste and take it through your bowels, in the breakdown pathway, chemical pathway, to break down some of these chemicals, the preferred pathway requires omega-3, and most of us don't have enough. Therefore, the body then uses an alternative pathway to metabolize these chemicals, and using that pathway causes inflammatory compounds to be created, which then circulate through the body and cause excess inflammation. So if you get sick, if you get an injury, right, any kind of trauma, you're going to make more inflammation than you're supposed to, right? And that is because of a lack of omega-3, right? We need omega-3 badly, right? Fish don't make it. People think that fish make it, and that's from the marketing that we get, right? Omega-3s are made by plants, right? The biggest, the plant that makes the most omega-3, percentage-wise, is flax, from the flaxseed, right? And you need a lot of it. I use 3 tablespoons daily. That is 45,000 milligrams, as opposed to what is being recommended by some of these people, 1,000 milligram fish oil capsule. And I'm taking 45,000 a balanced omega-3, 6, and 9. So the elderly need to be on that, as well as us, and need to be on omega-3s. High dosages from plants, not contaminated fish stuff. That's of no use. It's just throwing money down the drain. The elderly you need to find a way to get the elderly off aspirin, right? There are various other things you can use, as I mentioned, ginger. You need to get them off the ibuprofen, the Tylenol, the Panadol. If they have a fever, it means they have a little infection. Let's find out what's the infection. Let's raise the vitality, raise the immune system. Take in some sunshine every day. Sunshine disables the viruses, right? Morning and evening sun. But I spoke about all that in my other video. So this video was really to talk about the issue of the system of health that is being pushed down our throats, because governments, in very rare situations, or very rare in any countries, do they promote natural medicine. They promote modern orthodox medicine. right? That's what they promote and that's what they give us. You pay your taxes and that's what you get. If you want natural medicine, most countries you have to go find it for yourself and pay for it for yourself. Because they don't support it, right? They don't feel it has any merit. They don't believe you have an immune system that can help you fight an infection, that you must come and take their antibiotics, and you must come and take their things to lower your fever and these kind of things, which makes you weaker and weaker and weaker, right? That is the system that we are given without our choice, right? If we could have voted and said, listen, let's have a referendum, okay? Do we want the healthcare system to be as it is, as a SickCare system, and give us just these drugs that they give us and keep us sick? Or do we want natural medicine that could deal with the root cause of the problem, make us all healthy individuals so that we can have a healthier life, right? Would you want to vote on that? Maybe we could have a vote too. Maybe we can have both. So you could vote A, keep it as it is, SickCare system. B, natural healthcare system. Or C, combine both. In the 1950s or 60s, in China, Mao, the leader, Mao Zedong, the leader of China, communist leader, I don't think he did many good things, but one good thing that he did, he had a health crisis on his hands in China at the time. And he decided to make it where everyone studying medicine in China had to study both modern Orthodox medicine and also traditional Chinese medicine. So from then, everybody studying medicine in China studied both modern Orthodox medicine, as we know, and Chinese medicine. So the doctor had both things to work from, right? In modern medicine, Orthodox medicine, if you don't know, doctors do not even do one semester of nutrition. They don't do a semester of nutrition. They don't learn about magnesium, they don't learn about zinc, they don't learn about vegetables, they don't learn about fruit, right? They don't learn about sugar, or any of these things. As a doctor, imagine that. They want to, they're doctors, they're supposed to be doctoring you, helping you to be healthy, you would think, right? But they don't. There isn't one semester course in nutrition, right? So something is wrong, people. Something is wrong with that model, okay? And somehow we have to fix it. And I think this is a wake-up call so that we can all understand that something is wrong with what is called the healthcare system. And what I am saying is really a SickCare system. And we need to have changes made because it needs to be improved, right? We need to be dealing with the root causes of our illnesses, right? And really this video is really to emphasize the fact that the people that are succumbing to this virus, are people, mostly elderly, who are on steroids, ibuprofen, anti-inflammatory drugs, and aspirin, okay? And cardiovascular drugs like the ACE inhibitors has been identified. I saw a study on that yesterday, right? So it is a lot of the drugs that seem to depress the immune system, and this virus now can penetrate more easily past these persons' immune systems and take over the body, right? So what is being done now can't work. It's not working. We all will get sick. You can't, it's, the cat is out the bag, the horse has bolted. There are too many cases, right? If there's 3,000 cases in America and you add the amount of people they were in contact with, and you can't control this. It will take a long time. We cannot have the whole place, the whole world at a standstill, right? It cannot work. People have to work. People have to be in the factories making toilet paper, right? People have to deliver goods. Not everything a robot can do. Not every job can be done from somebody's office, right? People have to go outside and interact and do work. You cannot stop it, right? So we just delay the inevitable. And while we delay it, right, the situation with the economies of the world, with the people of the world who are going to be in serious poverty, in serious needs of money to purchase their goods and services, especially food, right? And when they don't have food, they're going to come where there's food. And if you have food in your house, they're going to come there to get the food. I don't want to be an alarmist, but I'm telling you, we cannot do it like how we're doing it. It's not working. What we have to do is allow the populations to get infected, protect them, enhance the immune systems. Instead of waiting for a vaccine to come and sell to all the governments, for all these pharmaceutical companies to make money again, and to depress our immune systems with another vaccine shooting into us, right? Instead of that, we need to be working. How do we get persons' immunity up so that they can be healthy, those who are not, right? To fight, right? To be able to resist. Because if you have adequate immunity and you're not on any anti-inflammatories, you're not on steroids, you're not on Panadol, you're not on ibuprofen and all those things, you're not on aspirin, then you're going to come out of it just like if you got the common cold or the common influenza virus, right? And that is where we need to be mobilizing our efforts, not in stopping all the aircraft in the sky, and these airline companies are going to go under. People are going to lose their jobs, right? All over the place. This is horrendous. We don't understand how people are now talking about it, but it's horrific. When Trump made the announcement that he was stopping European flights in and out of America, right away, I said, that's a economic devastation, and it's going to put everybody into fear, and that it did. Everybody went to the supermarkets in Trinidad and started clearing them out right away from the next day, right? The measures that are being taken now are inadequate, inappropriate, unnecessary. We need to allow the virus to go, people to get infected, make their antibodies, and let us take care of the elderly. Let us cordon them off. Try to not let them get infections over people's homes or whatever it is. Get them off the anti-inflammatory. Bolster their immune systems. Bolster their health. Right? Put them in the sun every morning and every evening for 15 minutes. Let the ultraviolet rays disable the viruses. There are many, many things we can do. Many things. And I can't state all of them here. Right? But what we're doing is wrong. It's inadequate, unnecessary, inappropriate, and it's going to cause catastrophe. Catastrophe. Much more than the virus will itself. Anyway, for those who viewed this, thank you very much for listening. Updates, I'll put any updates if I have anything to say. I'll put it on my Facebook page, and God be with you. Stand up for your rights. Get your immune system healthy. If you know anybody elderly, spread the message, share the video, tell people. If they have elderly people, take care of them in the right way, right? If you have children, do not let people go and give them steroids and things when they're sick, okay? You can't be doing that. I couldn't believe it. Imagine that, eh? A child, 2 years old, the mother takes the child to Mount Hope, right? Yesterday evening, sick, the chest is full of mucus, the nose is full of mucus. They give the child a steroid injection, put the child on a nebulizer, and send the child home with the mother. Steroid. And it's about a week now that we know about these anti-inflammatories causing complications. Anyway, till next time, thanks for viewing. Take care. Goodbye.